If you're a fan of the podcast or a client here at Personal Edge Fitness, you're obviously aware of my mantra, and that is the one that deals with what I call the lie of age, the ridiculous concept that time passing on a calendar causes deterioration, which is an absolute lie. Anybody saying that is actually lying to you. Deterioration is dictated by four things. Number one, activity or fitness. Number two, nutrition. Number three, lifestyle. And number four, which is the absolute most important. If you get this one wrong, 60% of your battle is over. And that is, of course, mindset. But one thing I don't think I've done as often as I need to, and I want to do it today, and that is have a guest on the show that is actually living it. The person that is actually working against the lie of age. So my guest today on the Personal Edge Fitness podcast, living the truth and not the lie of age, Miss Beth Compton, today on the Personal Edge Fitness podcast.
Welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast
with Garrett Williamson.
Health, wellness, exercise, nutrition, and a whole lot more. Got questions? Call us and leave a message at 251-278-EDGE or message us at Personal Edge Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, at Team PE on Twitter, or personaledgefitness.com.
Good day and welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast. My name is Garrett Williamson, president of Personal Edge Fitness. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll introduce my guest in just a minute, but I want to tell you how to get in touch with us if you have any questions about this podcast, or of course, any questions about health, fitness, and wellness, especially if we can dispel a rumor for you. Or, as I always have to say, if you have any questions for our ever-popular Ask Katie section, please contact me at area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. You can also reach out to me at Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. That, of course, is our website, my email address, our website, and our Facebook page. Hit me up on Twitter at TeamPE if you're so inclined. As I said in the intro, not often do I have somebody that's actually living all of what we preach at Personal Edge as a guest on my show. And I've had too many people tell me that I don't have enough clients that are guests on my show. So I want to welcome to the show Beth Compton. Beth, thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, I think that remains to be seen.
Just about every day.
Yeah. Which is true, and we'll get into that in just a second. So the reason that I wanted to have Beth on the show is, Beth, you've been with us for how long now?
I think 12 years, but I've never been really great with numbers. But I think it's 12 years since I retired.
I should have looked in that. We have that in our paperwork. I should have looked that up.
Well, that's all right.
That's all right.
I don't mind guessing how long I've been here, but
it's good
seems
enough,
like forever.
It's been a while. So, well, I mean, and it's been a good forever as far as I'm concerned.
Me too. Do you remember when I first came and I told you I'd be here 3 months?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes. Oh, I'm glad you said that. There's another client of ours who said the exact same thing, and she had a very strong accent, and I'll never forget. She said, "So how long I do this? 3 months?" Yeah. And still with us to this day. So we were trying to remember. There was somebody else that said 3 months, and now I remember.
That would have been
me. It would
me.
have been you. Wonderful. Well, how are your 3 months going?
Well, the 3 months, well, it's funny because I had a pinched nerve, and my orthopod or whoever found it, diagnosed it, said, try going to Personal Edge and just see if you can work it out. And that's why I wanted to tell you, because I knew I wasn't signing any contracts or anything. And you didn't say anything about it. I mean, you didn't roll your eyes like, yeah, I've heard that before. But, of course, the rest is history. It's definitely part of my health routine.
Right.
I just can't not be here.
Well, I'm glad I didn't mention anything about that or roll my eyes. I must have been on my best behavior that day.
Yeah, you were still trying to impress me.
Yeah, I apologize.
Long ago.
And benefits of being a good salesman, I guess you'd say. Yeah. So I think it's an 11-year territory, because I remember some of the people you trained with. And we were talking about that before we started recording. How many trainers have you worked with? You have any idea?
Now, here's another number that I won't know, but I have had different trainers at least. Well, we always train with two different people. I come 2 times a week with a trainer, and then the other days are all, I call them freebies, because they come with the membership.
Right.
I think if I just do the math, if I've been here, let's just round it out to 10 years.
Right.
And I've had 2 trainers a year, and I think they change about every year or 2 years.
Right.
I've just gone through a lot of them, and
everyone
has been my favorite trainer at the time. Seriously, it's so funny, because I've loved them all for different reasons. I've never had a bad one. But as I just told you a while ago, I just really hit the jackpot now with the trainers I have.
It's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and tell everybody who you train with.
I train with Josh on Mondays and Charlie on Fridays. It's a good way to start my week, a good way to end my week.
Right.
And I love them both. They're just fabulous trainers.
Actually, it's interesting. You've got two people that have a lot of things in common, but you've got two very different styles as far as training.
Very, very different, which is what I like.
Right.
I like variety in my life and everything but my husband.
Yeah.
Trainer variety is good.
Good. We're always glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's glad to hear that too. Definitely so.
Definitely.
Yeah, have you been able to pull Josh out of his shell? Yeah, he's so reserved.
I'm working really hard on it. Do you know, I feel like I've watched Josh grow up because I started training with him. I don't even think he was a trainer yet. He was kind of an intern first. And I just thought he was the cutest thing. And I mean, I have kids, grandchildren as old as he is. The change in Josh is amazing. He has really, he's so damn good. I can't say that, but he's so good and so technical. And, I remember when he didn't hardly know anything, but he was good.
Right, yeah.
He's just grown exponentially as a trainer since I've known him.
Josh was the first intern that we actually had clients asking us to hire him. Telling us, you need to hire him. And
Had I known I could have asked you, I would have asked, but I didn't even know I had that much influence.
He's the first intern we ever hired. And that was 9 years ago. Uh-huh. And what Beth's saying is true because, Josh has now been our Eastern Shore manager for the last, ever since we opened the facility in 2020. In fact, had a lot to do with us opening the facility in Eastern Shore on whether or not he would move over there because we knew he was the one that could run it. That's how good he is. He's only been with us, I say only been with us, tenure of trainers. At most facilities is a high turnover. Here it isn't. Yeah. But he's been with us 9 years and he's doing that. So
yeah, we hated it when he moved over there. All of us.
Well, I tell you what, honestly, the ways we did too. Because for those of you that are a fan of the show, you've seen me do podcasts with Josh and talk about Josh quite often. And Josh has done some over in the Eastern Shore location with him. But we actually in our staff meeting had to talk about the sound change in the facility because he was leaving.
Oh yeah, the volume level. My gosh, he didn't. I could train with him over the bay without a mic.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure.
Really?
Easily. So we always tell everybody that when he's doing online sessions with a client here, we always tell everybody you don't need earphones. You can hear him from over the bay.
Turn the volume down when Josh is around.
Exactly. And then Charlie is a good trainer, very good trainer, but vastly different style. Very technical. Of course, nobody's quite as vocal as Josh, but much more technical, much more methodic about his training.
Exactly. And boy, he listens though. I told him that I was a circumnavigator, being a sailor, and I don't like to do the same things twice. I don't know how to explain his workouts, but they are just so perfect for my needs at a particular time.
Right.
And they're different every time, and we just have a great rapport.
Right.
And I think he knows what's good for me, and I trust him, and we just have so much fun. I just really enjoy working with him.
Well, something else you do, another reason I wanted to have you on the show is that you're here, I know almost 5 days a week, if not 5 days, if not 6 days a week.
Well, I stopped. Lindsay said I needed a day of rest.
Right.
I was coming 6 days a week. Wednesdays and Sundays are my days of rest, I say, and I have to make myself stay away. And she doesn't like to use the old word, and I don't think she meant it, but she said, you really have to protect yourself from yourself.
If it tells you anything, back when I was training for my first world championship back in 2011, I had Chris Oakley. Chris, I don't know if you remember Chris.
I do remember.
But Chris and Gary Zakutny here at the facility were actually running my program. Mm-hmm. They had me show them everything I was doing, and they first thing looked at it and said, we got a problem with it. What's that? I said, what's that? And I said, well, where's your day off? Mm-hmm. So we all need that. Absolutely.
Yeah,
so,
I guess. Yeah, it's hard. Well, no, it's not really hard. I enjoy those days off. But, this is my sanity, really, because being retired from teaching, which, I taught forever, it seemed, and loved every minute of it. But I'm used to being active, and when you're retired, you're not that active unless you make your activities.
Right.
And of course, during COVID, if it hadn't been for the gym, I would have had to kill somebody. Not Billy.
Exactly. I understand. Yeah, definitely.
It was
absolutely not.
It's just I love it here.
You train with us online through all of it. I don't think you missed a session.
I didn't.
Once we shut down, went straight on to online.
Went online, and it was wonderful.
Good.
I don't feel like I went backwards at all.
Right.
I don't think I progressed as much as I usually do. I feel like I'm progressing all the time when I'm here.
Right.
but I felt like I wasn't going backwards, and I had my sanity, and I was nice to Billy the
Right,
entire COVID.
Good.
Thanks
Good.
to you guys here.
So you're welcome, Billy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've talked about that quite often, about the COVID period and people dealing with their sanity as much as physical. We were training 260 sessions in person prior to with the shutdown, and then we were doing 240 sessions a week during the shutdown, and we went all the way up to 300
Wow.
before we opened back up, which was more sessions we'd ever trained. And basically, because of what you're talking about, yes, the people were looking for an outlet, but it was as much mental as it was physical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really was. And that's amazing. And you kept your doors open. I mean,
Right, yeah.
we were all so afraid that, the gyms were not doing well.
Oh, no,
for the
it
most
was a
part.
horrible
And
time
so,
for most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it really
we
was.
made it.
Yeah, which we're glad we did. Definitely.
Bigger
so.
and better.
What are your favorite exercises? What do you like to do in the facility?
I love working. It sounds crazy. I call them playground activities.
Right.
All the stretching groups I love. I like working with a group. I
Right.
wouldn't trade my one-on-one trainer session, of course, but group work is fun. And our boot camp, I love boot camp on Saturdays,
Yes.
which is just a bunch of girls, and every now and then a boy shows up, but
Right.
which we love. But as far as personal exercises, I just love so many of them. I don't have a favorite. I have plenty of not so favorites. But
And that's okay too. That's all right too. So definitely to have some of those. But not only have you done the physical side of this, I mean, you've been consistent with your 2-day-a-week training, plus your extra days doing the whiteboard workouts and
Right.
coming in and doing the other workouts, which is what and that Saturday class has taken a life of its own. It really has. So
it's so much fun.
I get informed about what goes on in that class, and I think that's fantastic.
It's so much fun. Stephanie is a big addition to that group.
Yes, and so glad my
Yeah.
wife Stephanie is actually taking part in the class and thoroughly enjoying it, and gives me a report. Katie gives me an even deeper report
Of course.
about it.
And the dogs
Yeah,
are
of course.
a huge
And
addition.
That's a great addition too. So,
Yeah.
and even Nikki,
Yeah.
my pit bull, came up and greeted you. I heard the other day. So
Oh my gosh, she greets me a lot now.
That's
I'm
wonderful.
bribing her with treats.
yeah,
but
that's smart.
whatever works.
That's how
Yeah.
your trainer Josh
Yeah.
did it. As a matter of fact, he bribed her with treats.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a smart move.
I don't know what took me so long to figure that out. I've been trying to work on this dog for, 11 years?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she does
Yeah.
come to me occasionally now.
That's a plus. But not only are you doing the workouts, but you're living what we talk about. Now, I'm not going to mention age on here, but you weren't born yesterday. You just
I-
mentioned parents and grandparents.
I don't mind. I'm
grandparent.
so proud of my age that I'm
Awesome.
still alive.
I love
I'm
it.
82 and a half,
Right.
and I'm planning to be 83 soon. But
I love that.
I'm proud of it, but I'm just so grateful. I've lost dear friends
Yeah.
because they just weren't lucky like I am to have found Personal Edge
Right, right.
and Billy, of course,
of
and
course.
my family.
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate to be here and enjoying every minute of it.
Don't get what she said, because she said something. If you listen to my podcast on Live Age, I mentioned if you ask a 4-year-old who just had a birthday last month, and you ask them, how old are you? They're going to tell you, I'm 4.5.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, you heard the half? And I said that we stopped doing that. Not everybody stops doing that. So definitely, and we shouldn't. This is
Proud
what
of
I
it,
preach
yeah.
over and over again. And so, in fact, I've got a birthday coming up myself. I'll hit 55 next week, and I'm ecstatic about it. So
I hear
definitely
ya.
so. But it's not just the physical. There's something I noticed that you're rarely without when you come in the facility.
My water.
Yeah, bingo, your
Oh,
water
my
bottle,
water.
absolutely.
I decorated it, especially.
Oh,
so.
awesome. She was asking me earlier, I'm showing this to the camera if you're watching this on social media, if you could tell the difference between our bottles. Besides the big purple Wounded Warriors in Action band, you can tell that mine does not have the artistic heart as Beth's does, so which makes a big difference. But you're maintaining your water.
Not as much as I should. I know I should drink more than I do, but I'm aware of it all the time, trying to do better.
We all are as far as that goes, but you've got your bottle with you all the time, which is the first thing I always tell everybody. Make sure a bottle's with you. That's when you have more of a tendency to drink. And obviously, you know, work with me personally. We've worked out maybe, twice in 11 years? I mean, there's not been many
Not
times.
enough. Not enough.
But I've seen your exercises. I've seen what you've been able to maintain. And we were talking about this before the show. The fact that I know you've gone forward, but you definitely have not taken one step backwards in 11 years.
I don't feel I have.
Right.
Except I can't do box jumps anymore, which I very much enjoyed. But
Right.
my orthopedic doctor said it's not good for my knees. What does he know?
Well, I won't go against what your doctor says, but I mean, I've got all kinds of things I can tell you about how we can protect it, whatever. But that's
you
all
have
right.
been protecting my knees.
Yes, exactly.
I went through a phase where I was doing those stupid cortisone shots.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And all you guys, raised your eyebrows, and the trainers started working on the muscles around, and I haven't had a cortisone shot in years.
Awesome.
So
awesome. And think about what Beth just said there about her age, and she's been working out with us for 11 years. So the fact that she went from cortisone shots to no cortisone shots. The reason I'm bringing this up, beating this to death, I talk about that on the show all the time, the 4 things that actually control deterioration, which are fitness or activity, nutrition, lifestyle, and mindset. And all 4 of those are 100% controllable. The one what I base the activity on is the fact that you can regrow muscle at any age. I.e., you're living proof of it. Exactly. You're absolutely
had
living
this
proof
before.
of it.
Still working on it.
Exactly. Now I have my muscle to work on,
Yeah.
which is great. So besides that, what else have you enjoyed about personal edge? Or I'm going to flat out ask you right here on the show, what would you do to make it better?
Oh, that's a tough question. What I've enjoyed about it, first of all, the people. Anybody who's old enough to remember Cheers. When you walk in here, everybody knows your name, and they say it. Now, I can't say that I know everybody's names because I don't, but I know all the trainers. But the people here are just great, and it's just a whole new group of friends that I've formed since I retired.
Right.
And I enjoy that a lot, and I love the facilities. I mean, it's a giant indoor playground, outdoor playground to me.
Yeah.
I like the 24-hour.
Yeah, 24/7 access.
Access is great since I live 2 minutes away.
Right.
And I really can use it. I don't like to come here alone so much because Billy's weird and he thinks I'll get taken away.
We think the world of you, Billy. When you reiterate that,
he's
definitely.
Funny, but I usually like to be here. But frequently when I come on the weekend, there's somebody here.
Right.
And I, always come in when there's somebody here. I just don't think it's a good idea for me to be here alone just because at my advanced age, I would hate for you to have to come haul me out of here. Ruin your weekend.
I understand. As the owner of the facility, I more than understand that. You're not the only one. We have people that, in fact, we've had people that wanted to let them know when somebody's going to be here. Like, I'm going to go up on a Sunday, when somebody's going to be there, and I'll actually put them in touch with whoever's going to be here or find out schedule-wise. In fact, your class on Saturdays, which I'll usually run around 10 o'clock, unless it's football season, it starts at 9. That one, if you notice, you have other people that come around that time. And the reason being is we know people are going to be here, and we always let them know that.
Well, I have to put a plug in for that class for anybody who is watching and doesn't have anything to do on Saturday morning. Right. Or even if you do, it's the most fun. We have the best time. It's really a good group of people, and everybody's welcome.
Yeah, exactly. I don't talk about that class enough, but this actually started because we had a client that was coming up here, and she comes up here 6 days a week. And she's
not as old as I am.
So yeah.
She doesn't need 2 rest days.
No, actually she does. And again, that has nothing to do with time passing on a calendar. But she was coming up here on Saturdays. And then I had another lady that was interested in coming up here, so I put the two of them together, had them meet each other.
Is that Kim and Katie?
Yeah, I know Kim still listens to our podcast also. But Kim and Katie were very much alike. They had a very, very fast friendship, and culture is very, very, very important to us here. And finding birds of a feather is important to us, and people meeting. That's where it started. Then we just started adding people to their group, and this is a few years now.
And then Charlie came up with
Charlie designs the workout. Right.
That's another favorite thing about the gym that I forgot to mention
before. The whiteboard workout.
The whiteboard workout, because I hate cardio. I forgot to say that too.
Right, yeah.
I hate cardio, and if Josh is listening, I mean, it makes me do so much cardio. I hate it, except that now I don't have to get on those machines. How do most people do cardio on the treadmills and
Treadmills,
stuff?
ellipticals, yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
Cannot stand that stuff.
We get that a lot.
But the whiteboard is there every day. It changes every week. It's a whole different workout that you can do yourself safely, and it is so much fun. I haven't been on a treadmill since the whiteboard
workout. Well, ever since Charlie advanced to the position of exercise coordinator, that was one of the agreements on him being put in that position. We asked him because his designs of workout are fantastic, and he loves doing that. So we have trainers that all of our trainers are great at designing workouts. It's not that, but we have ones that love the session, that love the people. When we have people that really love the workouts, and Charlie loves putting those together. And I'm glad you hear the feedback on there. Oh, he's really good at it.
And he hits everything. I know all the trainers try and hit all
Of
your
course.
muscles when
Of
you're
course.
here. But I mean, he has a way of doing it. I mean, we had a partner workout Saturday that he just started, and he's going to have to do that again because
great.
everybody loved
Oh,
that.
Charlie, I hope you're hearing that. That's
It
awesome.
was.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's different every week, and it's
Right.
so good. And of course, Katie, I can't say enough about Katie. She's the one who
Coordinates it.
coordinates it for
Right.
us, and we would be like, I think that would be incorrect to say that, so I won't. But you know, we need somebody to coordinate it and make it
Right.
work.
Right.
And she's here every Saturday from Mississippi.
Exactly. And we're very blessed about that. I mean, it would be, the workout could be done with the group by reading the whiteboard workout.
Yeah.
But we're so gracious that she actually chooses to, you know, basically set it up, help put it together, which we greatly appreciate. And she's the one that actually, we have the message thread. I'm on the message thread. Charlie's on the message thread. And so is Katie, our trainer, is on the message thread. But
Right.
Katie, our client, runs the message thread.
Right.
And keeps everybody
Yeah.
together.
It's
So-
really fun.
For those of you who don't know, the whiteboard workout that we're talking about, like Beth was describing, this is a workout that Charlie writes up every single week, and he does two different workouts. He does a resistance training workout, and then he does a cardio type workout. And it's like a cardio substitute for those who don't like the machines, because we have a lot of that, and I understand that. And this is what Beth's talking about, that he changes up on a regular basis, and evidently makes it fun.
It is lots and lots of fun.
Good. Good to
Highly
hear.
recommend it.
For anybody that would be in your generation, that
lots of
if you
those.
can think back to 11 years ago when you started, that would have any hindrances or concerns, or what would you tell them about working out at Personal Edge or coming to Personal Edge?
Well, obviously, I would recommend it. One of the things that I've noticed, and my doctors have noticed too, is I have bone issues,
Yes.
kind of osteopenia or something like
Right.
that. But that has improved since I started working here.
Awesome.
And I haven't done any additional treatments, but I do think that's really important for
Extremely.
women of our age. The one thing I've noticed about getting people in my age bracket to change their lifestyle in any way is kind of tricky.
Right.
It either works or not. I'm so enthusiastic about so many things that they see me coming and they think, oh, that's just another one of her enthusiasms.
Yes,
but this is
exactly.
a real thing. And I'm always encouraging people to try it. And I don't know how many have come because of me, but it's your loss if you haven't. 'Cause
Well,
it's great.
you know, you actually point out something, you hit on something. 35% of our clientele is over the age of 65.
Oh,
and,
I did not know that.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people, forget it, but in 60s that we have, I can't tell you. Here there are 70s, I still can't tell you. Once you get to about 85, I can tell you how many people we have. Now, and the reason I say it that way is that talk to most personal training facilities, oh, I've got these 5 people and they're over the age of 70. And when I say I'm going to have to change that, I've got to run my numbers again because I've been saying 35% over the age of 65. It's probably moved even higher than that, that 35% of our clientele's there. But I would know people that would know me, that would live close around here, that know where the facility is, that want to come here, and they wouldn't come here. And so I actually asked 3 people that started relatively close to the same age, also close to the same time. And I went back and said, okay, you've started fresh, you like this, you enjoy it. Why did you not come earlier? What kept you from coming? And one of the things that I found out, which was shocking to me, was at this point in my life, I don't want to fail at anything.
Oh, really?
That was
That's
one of their
weird.
biggest concerns was, and I understand that there, and because the other answer I got was their image of what we do as personal trainers. And this is something I've banged my head against the wall for 32 years now, is what I call the Hollywood image of a trainer. And they said the closest thing in their life that they could think of as a personal trainer was a PE coach, or if they were in the military, a drill sergeant. And
nothing
neither one of those really conjure up good
No.
images. So.
And we don't have any of those here.
Right,
Nobody like that. And I've trained with a lot of them.
Right, exactly.
But that's not what it's all about.
Well, the very few in the last 11 years, there's very few trainers that we've had in the facility that you haven't trained with.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right. And
Yeah.
I don't have a preference for men. Well, let me rephrase that. I happen to have 2 male trainers now, but of course I trained with Lindsay for
Right.
years, and
Yes.
we miss her so much.
Very
but-
much so.
And I've had just as many female trainers that I loved. They're all good. In fact, when Billy was training, my husband was training here, he had women and
Right,
loved
right,
the women
right.
that he trained with. So
Good.
well, you are good at hiring good trainers.
Well, thank you. Thank you very
I will
much. We
have to say
pride
that.
ourselves on that. But I
Yeah.
will say that birds of a feather flock together. And the other things, and I'll point this out, you may know this, but when we hire trainers, it's not just me interviewing. We have a 3-step interview process.
Oh, I didn't
And
know that.
Yeah, and for the second interview, I'm not in the room. A lot of times, I'm not even in the building. Nor do I know what goes on in that interview.
Oh, it's who do they interview?
They interview one of the directors. For a long time they interviewed with Lindsay. Now they an interview with either Gary or they interview with Josh, and they tell me what they want to tell me about that. But since they're going to become a member of our team, and as you said, I'm using your words about this, about how good the team is and how good everybody is, then their reputation is going to be on this also.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to work next to this person.
Right.
And so that, I think, has been probably the saving grace as far as getting the Lindsays of the world, the Ericas of the world. I mean, Erica's second interview was done by Lindsay, and she sent me a text message and said, can we hire her yesterday? So, but
you knew that was the one. Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah. Again, that has a lot to do with how we do that. So, like I say, you've been with us this many years, worked with so many trainers. You've been a fantastic client. You've been a joy to work with.
Oh, thank you.
Which is the reason I wanted to have you on the show, and I'm looking forward to you being here many, many, many years. At some point in time, I will depart this business, and we'll have to leave you in charge because I know you'll still be here.
What a strange thought. But I hope to be here for a long time, too.
We were planning on it, definitely.
It's the most important part of my health plan is this gym.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That means a lot to us, obviously. So, and I appreciate you being on the show. So,
thank you for inviting me.
I've got to tidy up here at the end and tell people how to call in because now all your fans are going to call in. I'll have to handle all the.
I got to get these things off.
Okay,
It's driving me crazy.
That's okay. I appreciate you guys listening, tuning in. But if you have any questions about this podcast or any other, please reach out to us. Area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. You can also reach me at Garrett, GARRETT, at personaledgefitness.com, which is, of course, our website and Facebook page. Hit us up on Twitter at Team P if you're so inclined. Living long, having a happy relationship, having a culture, a good culture to work out and train in. That's just one more way we help you reach your level of wellness. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for listening to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast with Garrett Williamson. Subscribe now and be a part of the show by calling 251-278-EDGE or message us on Facebook and Instagram at Personal Edge Fitness or at Team PE on Twitter, and visit us at personaledgefitness.com.